All right. So today in internet fuckery, Juice World has his name out there a little bit. Nick Myra, I actually can't remember how to say that. He's a member of the Internet Money Squad. He's basically one of the producers that has sort of come up under that whole Internet Money Taz Taylor thing. If you ever run into Taz Taylor, you'll see him with like 30 random producers that apparently all live with him, and they all make beats, and they got a whole little machine going on over there. It's pretty cool. Anyway, Nick hit Twitter yesterday and said, "Fuck at official Sting and his whole team. After taking 85% of Lucid Dreams for interpolating, is it interpolating? I believe. Shape of My Heart, not even sampling. He threatened to take us to court for trying to get any percentage. Sting also flexed stealing our money and said it put his grandkids through college." So this is kind of an interesting situation. For those out there who know about Lucid Dreams and know about Juice World, you know that Juice World was just a random kid from Chicago. When he wrote Lucid Dreams, he had absolutely no, I mean, he might have had a fan base of, I think I met him and he had like 20 or 30K on Instagram. So he was like super small, but Lucid Dreams was a song that he already had out. And Nick here was one of the producers that he worked with at that time. Now, obviously, everybody knows what happened after Lucid Dreams came out. Went on to become one of the biggest songs in recent memory. In 2018, definitely one of the biggest songs. Absolutely exploded. And, you know, Nick is out here just sort of pissed off because, 85%, that's a lot, especially as a producer. Nick, I've seen him on the timeline, and I've seen him upset because like he went to a Juice World show and he wasn't backstage. He had to like just go in like a regular ass person and everything. And you see this kind of situation happen pretty frequently where you'll have an artist and then you'll have a producer and they're sort of on a similar level. Like when Lucid Dreams took place or whatever. I don't know if Nick was the only producer on it, but at that time, Juice WRLD's basically a nobody. Nick's basically a nobody. But then that song blows up, and what happens to Juice WRLD? He explodes. He's internationally famous. He's got like 4 million Instagram followers. And then Nick, obviously, like being a part of a song that big and everything is good. It's definitely helped his career for sure. But is he out here with 4 million followers and like millions of dollars like Juice WRLD? No, probably not. I don't know how he's doing financially. I'm sure that, he's doing all right. I'm sure he's not like dead broke, hopefully. But, he's definitely not in the same position that Juice WRLD like is in. When these things happen, they help the artist, the person singing on the song, a lot more than the producer. And this is kind of like the worst case scenario because like say Juice WRLD had a song that he really, really wanted to do right now that had a crazy ass sample in it. Well, number one, Juice WRLD probably would not hop on a track that had a crazy sample on it. He probably, him or someone on his team has probably had conversations with producers saying like, yo, don't send me beats that have wild ass samples because I want to make all of the money or as much money as possible from these songs that I'm making, that I'm putting my heart into, and I don't want to have to go and give 85% to some old fuck like Sting. Now, actually, shout out to Sting because I grew up listening to rock and indie rock and stuff like that, so I do have an appreciation for Sting and everything. The question is like, is Nick right to be pissed off about this? To me, I understand why he's pissed because he's looking at Juice WRLD's lifestyle. He's looking at how much money Juice WRLD's clearly making. But from this one song, and it would seem, I'm not 100% sure, but it would seem that Juice WRLD's not really necessarily fucking with him now. Because if Nick was like along for Juice's come up, he probably wouldn't be pissed. If he was like making hella bread right now off doing all kinds of other songs for Juice, whatever, then I'm sure he wouldn't be too pissed off. But as the case is, he kind of got cut out of the deal. He's a producer. Artists jump around, use all kinds of different producers. So yeah, he had this one big song, and it's dope for him to be able to put that on his resume. But obviously, he's not making the kind of money that he would like to be making from the song. So is he right? Well, moving forward for somebody like Nick or any producer, because Nick had this problem because he made this beat for Juice WRLD as just a random ass song, and now the song is huge. It comes out like if that song had stayed like a SoundCloud hit and it had 400,000 plays on SoundCloud and maybe like 1 million on YouTube or whatever. We might never have heard about all this shit with Sting and everything. You know, it might not have got big enough for him or his team to give a fuck. That's very, very much possible. And that's probably what both Nick and Juice assumed at the time, because at the time they weren't really, neither of them was really like huge or anything. So they had no reason to think that this song was going to get big. And probably neither of them knew that this is the kind of thing that happens where, you know, giant artists like Sting reach out. For those who don't know, Shape of My Heart is like a massive song that has been sampled like over and over and over throughout hip-hop history. And these massive artists like Sting, they have publishing companies that are in charge of getting them as much money as possible whenever they have any opportunity to get money, right? So in this case, it's like saying fuck Sting. It's like, you know, what does Sting really have to do with it? Like, what do you think Sting knows about Lucid Dreams? He knows that there's a song out there that loosely uses some part of his song, right? And I guess he's probably not super, well, I mean, actually, he's totally fine with it, because there was this interview where he actually spoke on it, and he said, you know, yeah, that song put my grandkids through college or whatever. And I mean, hey, maybe this situation played out in such a way that was a little bit more grimy than the average situation that plays out. I don't know, because I mentioned this situation in passing to one of my people at Atlantic, and just the sort of way that they mentioned it, they were like, ooh, like, as in like, ooh, that was a particularly bad one, in the sense that, you know, the motherfuckers who made the song didn't really make that much money off it. And, you know, there's another level of inequality to it, because, you know, think about it. Juice WRLD can easily afford to give it 100% of the song to Sting, and then he goes and he tours and he plays the song, and, you know, he gets $50,000 for playing a show, and then boom. Does he give a fuck about not making money from the song? Yeah, it'd be nice to make money from the song, but he doesn't really give a shit, because it's like, fuck, that song made me famous, at least in part, and now I'm out here making all this money on the road, and it's because of that song. So, hey, fuck it, Sting, take your part. Like, Juice WRLD put out a statement in response to Nick's tweet here. It was just a tweet. But Juice WRLD basically just said, hey, that song made a lot of people happy, and there's a lot more money to be made out here, so fuck it. What do I care, you know? Which makes sense, Juice WRLD, you rich fuck, and your fucking Balenciagas and your big old lean cup. And Nick over here is struggling at least a little bit. I don't know if he's like really struggling, but, you know, he's at least not 100% happy with how this situation played out. And, you know, I don't blame him for being upset, but at the same time, I mean, these are the lessons you got to understand. When you're getting into the music industry, you tend to learn a lot of lessons, because there's all these things that you're doing when you're an invisible, tiny little SoundCloud producer that you think you can get away with, and then all of a sudden your shit blows up, and you realize stuff like, oh, maybe I shouldn't sample songs. Maybe I shouldn't, use a direct interpolation of songs. Maybe I should get paperwork before I do a beat, or like with an artist, so that I don't get totally fucked on that beat in the future. Like, you know, take a massive producer who has notoriously gotten screwed in the past. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head. But you take a producer who did get royally fucked in the ass by a label or by an artist and didn't make all the money that they should have made on a project. What's that producer going to do? Going forward, he's going to be really, really careful with his contracts. He's going to get a lawyer. He might get a publishing company to represent him, whatever. He's going to do everything possible to make sure that he doesn't get screwed again in the future. And, you know, Nick, hopefully, regardless of what happens in his career, you know, if tomorrow he had a hot new rapper who wanted to do some songs with him, he's going to be thinking about what happened with him in this Sting case, and he's going to make the smarter decision going forward. The problem is that Lucid Dreams is such a massive song that it might just be a once-in-a-lifetime level hit. Now, we don't really know either way, but obviously Juice WRLD's totally chilling, and Nick over here is feeling at least a little bit of the pain. Like, he's still in a situation where he's thinking, like, fuck, if I got my proper percentage off that song, I'd probably be like sitting in a big old high-rise condo apartment right now. I don't know where he lives right now also. Maybe I should have reached out. Maybe we should interview him. If anybody would like to hear that, that could be cool. I actually wouldn't mind talking to Juice on camera about this as well. Anyway, what do you guys think? I think it was all worth it. Lucid Dreams, massive. I still see the shadows in my room, and I can't take back the love that I gave you. Also, I just want to throw this out there. I went to the Disney store with my nephews earlier, and we got the button here for the Mickey Mouse 90th birthday. they were pretty excited about this. Mickey Mouse is 90, which actually doesn't seem that old for Mickey Mouse. Anyway, head on over to nojumper.com. The new kendamas are in. I don't know if they're actually on the website, but go grab yourself a kendama. Go grab yourself a No Jumper shirt. I'm not wearing one right now. This is an FTP shirt, and you can't see it because of the mic. Much love. Juice Wrld. Nick. Lucid Dreams. Let's get it. Gang.